Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a spectacular Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust in stainless steel and white gold. This is a reference 116234 Z series, so roughly 2006 manufacture, and a very modern watch with a number of striking and unusual Rolex design elements. 36 millimeters in diameter, the timepiece measures 11.7 millimeters thick. It is 44.2 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. If we add the end links to the Oyster bracelet, then the total distance across the wrist is 45.5 with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it fits nicely. It's a perfect size. 36 has been the core Datejust size since the very first Datejust debuted in 1945. It works well for men, it works well for women, and while my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, I can easily see the watch wearing well on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference. Now, taking a look at the bracelet, it is the modern day Oyster, which means you have solid end links, solid center links, and a thick gauge steel clasp. The end link integrates the bracelet to the case, so it has a nice closed quarters coherence to it. There's no daylight showing between the two. We have some taper to the bracelet itself down from the end link, polished centers, satin shoulders, polished outer faces. We have removable links fixed in place by screws, and then inside the clasp there is a 5 millimeter tool-free adjustment, snap in, snap out, that's called Easy Link. If you look inside the clasp, you'll also find that there are 3 divot stations that can be used for remounting the bracelet inside the clasp. So by using your strap tool, you can change the anchoring point and fine-tune the fit. So you have 1, 2, 3 different ways of sizing this watch. Internally, the clasp is polished. There's also a spring-loaded beacon hook system. It is a lift lock mechanism that must be unlatched to open. It is not a friction fit system, and it is surprisingly complex internally. Rolex has its own foundry. It makes its own alloys. It makes its own cases, bracelets, and clasps. It uses 904L steel, a high nickel content steel that's more resistant to corrosion, particularly in the face of salt, such as seawater or sweat, or certain industrial acids. Rolex also makes what's known as gray gold, and that's what the bezel is made of. Gray gold is an 18-karat white gold alloy that never needs to be plated. It is white straight through. Now, the crown, a twin lock in steel, screw down, screw in case back, Oyster case, 100-meter water resistant, and the dial with spectacular applique white gold, radially arrayed Arabic numerals, and what's known as the concentric dial, a metallic concentric profile that does incredible things with the ambient light, even in the soft glow of an office interior. We have a crown and hands in matching white gold, and you can see this is actually a double index dial. We have the numerals, but then outboard of each one, we have a small white gold index. The depth of the concentric pattern is outstanding, giving it almost an Art Deco machine age look. We'll turn the lights off, and you can see that this watch has plenty of luminescence, and it's even distinctive by night. We have a Cyclops eye magnifier over a roulette date, which means the odds are red, the evens are black, a time-honored Rolex quirk. We also have the hacking seconds function. We have the quick set date for rapidly cycling that date, and inside the case, Rolex manufactured caliber 3135. Automatic winding, it winds bidirectionally with a 48-hour power reserve. It has a chronometer certification, beats at 8 beats per second, pivots on 31 joules. It's braced against shock with a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance, and it has an overcoil hairspring shaped by hand that allows the watch to keep very consistent time regardless of the physical position of the movement relative to gravity. And of course, the movement is all Rolex, right down to the lubricants used, which are in fact Rolex's own for maximum efficiency. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust 36. A gorgeous chronometer. Again, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com.